Right, welcome to my last video in a series on the teacher performance assessment lesson plan format. I've showed you sanity or insanity. Now I want to show you sanity. 6 simple, effective lesson plan formats. And again, realize one size does not fit all. Teachers are not standardized product. Each teacher has a different way of thinking and processing and organizing information for a lesson plan. To insist that teachers must think about a lesson and learning in a standardized way is the ultimate form of domination and control. Students are not standardized products. There's differences in age, ability, interest, and learning style. And again, to think that you could have one format that fits all learning situations is not realistic. And most importantly, and what this video is about, different types of learning experiences call for a different type of lesson plan. You cannot use the same lesson plan. Now here's the basic lesson plan format. You have a purpose statement, not a behavioral objective, because learning happens here. And real teachers think in terms of, what do I want students to learn or to learn about? Happens inside. The input is the teacher part. It's the specific information you want students to know or know about. And then the activity. Get them to practice what they've learned or manipulate what they learned or extend what they learned. And again, teaching is simply say a little bit, do a little bit, whether in kindergarten or graduate school. That is the essence of teaching. Now, if you're teaching a concept like a triangle, a feline, or something like that, a little bit different. And again, students will learn about, what are you going to learn? You define it, define the attributes. Felines have paws, rough tongues, etc. Positive examples and negative examples, and then some sort of informal assessment. We know students have learned a concept when they can distinguish between a concept and a non-concept, between positive and negative examples. And then something to get them to use that concept in some way. A skills lesson plan based on the elements of effective skills instruction, much different than the other lesson plans. Identify what you want students to learn. Students will learn about double-digit addition, or students will learn how to add 2-digit numbers. And tell students exactly what you need to know. You identify the steps, you give them instruction, you model the skill, and then guided practice, you take them through the skill. And then an activity where they get to practice independently. And if we're a good teacher, students should be able to do the activity with 95 to 100% success ratio. And this is the same basic element whether I'm teaching a lesson planning skill, teaching a skill in wrestling or music, or teaching math skills or something in the classroom, teaching a new swimming stroke and swimming lesson. This is the basic skills lesson plan format. The plan for creating writing experiences based on process writing. Students will either write, that's when they choose their own topics, or students will write about, that's when you have a teacher directed, when you give a writing prompt. There's a pre-writing activity used to generate ideas, and I have some of these on my website. During writing is when students write the draft or the sloppy copy, anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes. And again, they put their drafts in a folder. They decide which ones to take to the editing stage. And then writing comes alive when you're able to share. Students share in groups of 3 or 2 or 4 or one author, a variety of ways. With the internet, you can put stuff up there as well. A reading lesson plan, much different. For narrative text, students will read and enjoy. That's the purpose of the lesson. For expository text, students will read and understand. This is a reading lesson plan, not a skills lesson plan, but a reading. Pre-reading should be 1 to 4 minutes in duration to get them ready to read. And keep this short. The purpose is not to do your neat activity, it's to read and enjoy the story. During reading, describe exactly how students will read so that a substitute teacher could pick it up and replicate it. We do not want them reading round robin or popcorn reading, either buddy reading or read by themselves or group reading or one of these other strategies. And then a post-reading activity designed to get them to manipulate or extend or become engaged in an idea from the story. Narrative text should have an aesthetic response type of activity, not an interrogation where they identify the author's purpose or name that, but respond aesthetically like we respond to art. And the last one is a discovery lesson plan format. If I'm having a discovering activity or lesson plan, we have the activity up front where they discover some important elements of the skill or concept. This is followed by input, exactly what they need to know, and then an activity related to the input and purpose statement. Here is if I modified the basic lesson plan format, and again, you can adopt and adapt. And you have to keep it simple. This is the basic one again, the input, instruction, and the activity. This would differ if it was reading or writing. Formative assessment, how do you notice learning as it's happening? Keep it simple. And then how will students demonstrate their learning? This and much more at my website. Visit me there. Thank you.